Hi, I'm Deirdre Brock. I'm MP for Edinburgh North and Leith, and I am the representative for the Scottish National Party for Fair Work and Employment. So, firstly, thank you very much for asking me along tonight to speak, and secondly, thank you for all those tales, the stories you were telling that illustrate just so clearly how access to work isn't working. But I wanted to just start by talking a little bit about discrimination. It comes in many different forms, of course, from the clear and present prejudice, from that through to the innate, almost unconscious discrimination, and the automatic and institutionalized, to the patronizing, and the easy and practiced assumption that the person in front of you lacks something as a human being because they are not the same as you. Now, that discrimination, often unthinking, sometimes even done with good intentions, creates glass walls that stop people moving forward. It stops people reaching their full potential. And it stops people from giving all they can to society. And it means that people who are discriminated against lead lives that are less full than they could be, and in consequence, as we've heard tonight, they are less fulfilled. As you've already heard, it stops people from getting into the job market, it stops people having their careers advance. And that, amongst everything else, has an impact on tax and national insurance receipts that the Treasury sweeps up like a Dyson on overdrive. No one gets any benefits from imposing barriers that stops people getting into work, and it is nothing more nor less than discrimination. Now, I've had a look through the recommendations, and I think they are more than acceptable. In fact, they're actually quite modest in scope, and are only asking for a little movement, an ounce of consideration to be given. I have some hope, and I'm not often say this about a Conservative. I have some hope from the Minister of State for Disabled People after my debate a couple of weeks ago. She wasn't exactly overflowing with enthusiasm, but Penny Mordaunt did make some commitments. One of those was that she would make sure that deaf and disabled people's organisations would be involved right at the heart of developing future policy and influencing direction. Now, we'll see whether that bears fruit. But she has a chance to prove that her goodwill is more than just fine words if she takes the opportunity to take the recommendations of this report on board and actually engage the authors in helping to deliver them. It is not a plea for gold dust and tiaras, just a request that access to work programs deliver for the job seekers that use them, and for the job seekers waiting to get onto them. I don't think that's very much to ask for. I don't think equality would be very much to ask for either, and this is less than that, much less. Just a little movement in the right direction. And you'll have heard that from Ellen, I think, disabled organisations in Scotland are asking that access to work be devolved to the Scottish Parliament. I won't say too much about that, but it is certainly the Scottish Government's intention to create a better social security system with the 11 benefits devolved so far, and certainly with any others that come our way. Our Minister for Social Security, and note that term, social security, not a welfare, not benefits, social security. Our Minister said, our aim is to build a Scottish social security system that works for the good of people in Scotland, is fit for purpose, and is fully accountable. I think the UK government should be aiming for the same. This report is a substantial piece of work, and the problems in people's lives that it represents and illustrates are burdens that should never have to be carried. Access to work should be made to work. So thank you again for having me here tonight, and thank you again. for all your very personal testimonies. I've found them very moving indeed. Thank you.